Hello and welcome back to our Aserai playthrough, and we're going to be attempting to use our horse archers, or should we say camel archers, in a slightly different way, because obviously the amount of changes that have been made in the most recent patches, if you've seen my thoughts on video, you should probably check that out, because that's going to, comprehensively, well, I wouldn't say comprehensively, but it covers it somewhat in a somewhat decent sense, I guess, somehow. Anyway, the point is, I'd highly recommend checking that out if you want to see some of the changes that have been made to the game, if you want to know the reasons why I make certain decisions and so on and so forth. I'm probably going to mention them anyway, but it's just a nice way for you to stay informed if you care about that. If you don't care about it, then that's absolutely fine, then you don't have to. But anyway, the point is, the way that horse archers have been changed, I think it seems like maybe it would be a better idea to keep them as a somewhat stationary force, at least for the, maybe the beginning stages of a battle, and then sending them in afterwards as a kind of skirmishing entity. And I actually think that that might make more sense than anything else, because I think that's probably the reasoning behind actually having horse archers in the first place. I think maybe the developers were not actually intending them to be a full force by themselves, and that actually makes a whole bunch of sense if you think about it, because just thinking about how horse archers are now, it is very much more a case of, yeah, they're not going to be that effective by themselves, but if you have a bunch of other things, like for example infantry and foot archers and, obviously your obligatory cavalry generally, you're probably going to have a pretty decent time of things. I mean, you can see right here, my elite camel archers didn't really get that many kills, which is still somewhat sad. I'm not entirely sure whether that is literally just because they are on camels. It may very well be that that is indeed the case. Anyway, we're just going to let this guy go once again, get some more charm skill, And I actually did go back to the nearby town of Zaonica, and I actually picked up a bunch of war mounts in the process. And in my opinion, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, hello. Oh, no, I'm actually not going to be using this. This, while it may look better on paper, as you can quite clearly tell, it has massively better stats on pretty much every single thing apart from damage. That's exactly the reason why I'm not going to be using it, because the damage itself is definitely what I want to try to keep. Anyway, I actually picked up massive amounts of war mounts, as I said. I actually have, how many of them? I have 37 war mounts right now. And we also got this. Wait a minute. Is this camel literally called Humphrey? Or is this an actual type of camel? I don't know, but it literally is 49,000 in cash, which is actually hilarious. I really do need to go over to Zaonica and actually sell that straight away. But yeah, basically we're right here with Tynops. I'm running some interference for him because there's been a huge amount of vassals coming in this area. As you can see, look, there's Faron right there. I'm obviously not going to be doing anything to him right now. I would like to fight him, don't get me wrong. I would definitely like to engage him, because he is probably one of the stronger vassals for the opponent, whatever opponent we're fighting right now, because generally we're fighting the Northern Empire and we're also fighting the Southern Empire. So we're just going to be selling some people, and we're also going to be taking a look at the trade screen real fast, because we've got, look at that, 90,000 in cash, and we can actually sell this camel for 50,000. I had no idea that it was so incredibly expensive. So this is actually fantastic, because look at that, we're going to gain 50,000 just from that. And oh yeah, by the way, I already sent off Zemina again as a caravan, and hopefully she's going to do a slightly better job this time, although I'm not really holding out too much hope, because they are not very well known for survival, let's just say that. Companions are not very well known for that kind of thing. Anyway, hopefully it's going to give me a little bit of a benefit here and there. I don't really mind whether she fails after a week or so, but as long as she gives me some kind of benefit. Oh dear, she just got herself taken prisoner. Never mind. Alright, well, I only spent 10,000, which is obviously fantastic. Only spending 10,000 is much better than spending 15,000 and wasting it, even though it is technically still a complete and utter waste, which is very sad. Anyway, we're just going to be attacking basically... Oh, never mind. I just extorted him for money, and I lost nothing. Are you serious? Wait a minute. Is that actually true? That seems like it is indeed true. That seems like I am allowed to extort caravans however I want without any repercussions, just by saying, please give me that money. And then they'll go, yeah, okay, here you go. And apparently that's exactly what's happening. Okay, I need to test that out, because if that is indeed the case, then that is a very, very funny interaction. That's certainly not something I think the developers... I don't think they intend that. I'm sure that they are definitely going to be thinking to themselves, no, we definitely want there to be some kind of relation hit, or, well, I would probably say some kind of relation decrease in that particular situation, because obviously they're already doing that whole thing where if you break away from an army when they are in a siege, then you lose relation with the members of that army, which obviously is a pretty big deal for the most part. Anyway, I'm just going to tell my camel archers just to come over here a little bit closer, just so that they can bombard the enemy a little bit. I don't need them to do a massive amount here, but I just need them to be a little bit of a distraction. We're going to obviously tell them to go in once my other cavalry have actually done some damage here and there. But yeah, they are, in my opinion, not to be used as a main attacking force any further, which is actually kind of sad to me, because I actually felt like that was a really, really cool way of doing things. Obviously, it's not supposed to be... I mean, as I die here, obviously, but, you know, the fact is, it's not supposed to be the main source of damage for your army in any way, shape, or form. And I completely understand if they wanted to change it in a somewhat more drastic fashion. But I feel like maybe it's a bit too much. I don't know, because just think about the Khuzait. Obviously, the Khuzait, okay, yeah, all intents and purposes, they are insane. Or shall we say they were insane, because they're not so, you know, they're not so strong now, they're not so powerful now, but beforehand, they were. They were almost unstoppable in many different situations on the fields of battle. Maybe not so much in sieges or anything like that, but nowadays, yeah, they are, you know, pretty simple to eliminate. But that obviously is now completely different. It has completely changed the landscape of who I would consider to be the most powerful I don't know, unit, I guess you could kind of call it. So if you want an easy time, well, it's no longer to go with the Khuzait. If you want to go with, you know, a relatively strong faction, well, it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, Battanians? Battanians is a pretty decent option, and you also have the ability to go for the Aserai, of course. But if you do go for the Aserai, probably try to focus a little bit more on thrown weapons, and less on pretty much anything else, I suppose. Archers are still going to be relatively decent there, and yeah, maybe something like that. I think that's probably going to be a pretty decent time. Now, actually, quite a funny thing. I obviously just released the my thoughts on video not so long ago. And I got a comment, which I thought was... And now, I don't know whether this person's going to see this particular episode of Bannerlord, but I'm gonna address it anyway in this, because I'm not going to make another My Thoughts video for quite some time. If, you know, if there is another patch note, you know, thing, or a significant update, then I might. But as it stands right now, obviously I'm not going to be making another one, because there's no point, you know. There are no other things that I need to talk about. But anyway, the comment read something like this. I've seen Reformist do tournaments so often that I am sick of them, and I literally thought, oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's really sad, actually. That is really, really sad, because tournaments for me, as I talked about in the thoughts video, I do not believe them to be... I don't think that they're terrible. Garios wants me to be a vassal of his, which is quite funny. I don't think that they're terrible. Yeah, sure. You know, they are definitely not going to be... they're not going to be something that you're going to be doing a lot of time later in the game. And that's the reason why I was talking about that whole that whole thing and basically saying, well, they're making, obviously the developers, they're making tournaments much harder in the early game. And I was saying how I felt like that was just not the right way to go about things, because if you're a lower level character, it's going to be really difficult to win any of those. However, someone else had a really, really good suggestion on that, and that was to make tournaments more valuable later into the game. So it basically says to you, oh, this is actually something that I want to participate in, you know, because obviously as it stands right now, if you don't have any of the perks that provide you with additional renown or allow you to bet more money or anything like that, if you don't have any of those things, then you're going to get hit in the shoulder and die instantly from a thrown weapon. Well, that wasn't actually my intention, but yeah, okay, fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much because my forces are probably going to handle this without too many issues, as we saw from the combat strength. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the fact that if the tournaments have scaling rewards and or they have better rewards later on in the game, then obviously that's going to make a very, very big difference to how much a player is going to want to do them. But again, I apologize if I have done tournaments way too much. I'm not entirely sure why that would make you sick of them, because you're not actually doing them yourself, but, well, there you have it. Apparently some people feel that way, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. That's just, I mean, I can't do anything about it, because generally, if I am doing a tournament, it's usually because that is the best possible thing that I can do at the time to make some quick cash, to give me some decent renown, and obviously, most of the time, whenever I'm doing a tournament, I'm looking for gear early on. Because if I'm looking for gear, usually, like for example, I could go into this tournament right here. I'm not going to do one right now, but as you can see, wrapped helmet with male coif. This is okay, but if I didn't have a helmet, this would be a pretty decent idea. But obviously there's 3 lords there as well, which may not be the best idea anyway, because they're probably going to absolutely murder me. Anyway, we're just going to tell some people to get some gear from the stuff that we have here. Just going to sell all of this, 10,000. I'm actually going to go into the tournament. Not into the tournament, but into the arena, because I want to speak to Mr. Tournament Master. So, wait a minute. One thing I want to do... Are you hearing that, by the way? Are you hearing that thing? Yeah, okay, you might be hearing that. Okay, yeah.
We really should stop this fighting, otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
Alright, well, hopefully it's not going to continue. Anyway, the point is, basically what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to limit the amount that I go into tournaments right now, because obviously, I mean, we don't need the cash. And we don't actually need any of the renown either, because here's the thing. Look at this. Look at how much renown we've made. We've made so much renown just purely for the fact that I have been able to attack so many vassals. But here's the thing. Tournaments are usually, for me, a really good way of just gaining some super, super quick renown, super quick cash in the early game, because apart from that, there isn't really that many ways to do it. Yeah, sure, I mean, yeah, okay, you can do tasks, and tasks are generally a really good way to do it anyway. They are very, very good. Some of them, at least, not all of them, that is. And Mr. Surgeon Man, I need to check what he has. He has Veterinarian, which is, wait a minute, no, wait. Where's Doctor's Oath? There's Doctor's Oath. Okay, he actually has that. Oh, that has been lowered, hasn't it? That used to be a 125 level skill. Oh, that's a good change. I like that. All right.
I like that a lot. Come on down.
Because what I was actually going to do was respec Mr. Amnon the Surgeon. Yes, I was going to respec him into Doctor's Oath, and I thought as soon as he gets to 125, I was actually going to go ahead and do that. However, well, I don't need to. As you can see, I literally don't need to, so that's fantastic. I'm very, very pleased about that. Anyway, let me just take a quick look. Yeah, my camo is absolutely fine. It did get killed, I think, in the previous... Actually, maybe not. I don't think it took 280 damage. No, I don't think it took all of that damage, which is actually very nice. Anyway, yeah, so basically we're just going to continue trying to attack as many vassals as we can get our hands on, and I do need to test out that wonderful caravan... that caravan tech that we found, which I think could be quite funny, because if it actually enables me to literally just speak to caravans, this could be a super good way of actually dealing with getting money early on in the game as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Maybe we should think about that a little bit. Anyway, there we go. We're gaining some pretty high tier troops. I should have gone to the tavern and actually sold those. That would have been really good. We could just run back there relatively quickly. Anyway, the point is, there are a lot of different ways that you can gain some cash early on in Bannerlord. But in general, tournaments have been shown to be, in my opinion at least, some of the best. Just purely for the fact that they give you gear, and if you don't like the gear, you could sell the gear. They give you money, and they also give you renown. If you don't want to be grinding on bandits to try and level up some of your troops initially, then obviously you don't need to worry about that. The main concern that I have early on is being able to afford a significant amount of daily wages, because that's a thing that tends to happen quite often. There are a lot of I mean, it's basically a bit of an issue, because the daily wage, because obviously this is completely different from how Warband did things, because Warband, that had some leniency in the way that it dealt with the wage of the player character. Whenever, you know, you would whenever you'd have to pay, it would be once weekly. That's it. Once weekly. Bannerlord completely shook that up and changed it to be a daily occurrence. And now, early on, this is very punishing, because if you expand too quickly, you're going to have some issues. You're going to have some pretty big problems. You're going to think to yourself, oh no, what can I do here? What am I actually going to... I'm going to have some problems because I just don't have enough money to be able to afford to keep my people, you know, happy, basically. And I'm, you know, I can't find any bandits. I can't find anything that I really want to do. And generally, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, to be honest, with the whole tournament going thing. Because if you go into a tournament, by the way, this is the weapon I was looking for. Thank you very much once again to the person that actually told me where it is. This is one of those really funny weapons that I think is going to be super fun to use, and I have a huge amount of money as it is, so I might as well try it out, because this might become my favorite weapon, dependent. I mean, because obviously the Manavlion right now is obviously fantastic. I love this weapon. It's very usable, and it can even be used as a two-handed. I'm seeing right now that this is probably less likely to be used as a two-handed, and is more going to be used as a as sort of like a cavalry only kind of deal. It will probably be like you know, field battles only rather than sieges. But that's not to say that you couldn't use it in a siege. You could probably use it in a siege and probably do pretty well with it. But yeah, anyway, also what we're going to do, let me see here. Yeah, I think Maranath is probably going to be a relatively decent idea to get. Can we not see who the... no. Okay, wait a minute. Why is there a smithy here but not a wood workshop? I always thought that the wood workshop was the best here, but apparently not. Alright, I'm going to buy this smithy from her. It's going to be 29,000. I want to test this out. I want to see how effective workshops actually are, considering I have a pretty decent amount of cash, and there is a smithy already built here. I guess that kind of makes sense. So we're going to see how much it actually does without any mods. There are no mods that I have installed right now that actually fundamentally change how workshops work. However, of course, they did add that new system, the warehouse system, which is supposedly to be able to give you the option to, you know, give raw materials into the warehouse, and then your smithy or whatever it is ends up using those. And that could be a potential... You know, that could be a potential thing for us, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to go in here versus these fellows. This is kind of what I wanted to do. Let me see if I can actually do something here. Okay, we got one. We got one focus point. I guess I'm going to go for leadership here, because this is actually going to provide me with the famous commander perk, which is going to give me plus 50% to renown. This is actually one of my favorite perks in the whole game, if it actually works, because sometimes I feel like it doesn't actually give you that 50% extra renown. But I personally think that it is definitely one of my favorites, just purely for the fact that it has the possibility to do that, and otherwise that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do another little bit of leadership there, and otherwise we're going to go in. Now, we are outnumbered in this particular battle. Not sure if we're going to be okay here. I think we'll probably be fine, but it very much depends on a number of things. It's actually snowing right now. That might be a bit of an issue. That might be a bit of an issue for a wide variety of reasons, because as I talked about in the My Thoughts video, you know, snowing actually has a pretty big detriment to a wide variety of different people, and I'm mostly talking about cavalry here. And obviously, because I have mostly a cavalry-based army, this might be somewhat problematic. Anyway, I'm actually going to tell my horse archers just to charge right now, because otherwise we are just going to have them not really doing too much, and I kind of want them to be a bit of a distraction for our main cavalry units, because I think personally we're maybe going to have some big problems actually doing much here. But this weapon is fantastic, as you can no doubt tell already. It is just obliterating the opponent, and this is thanks to one of your recommendations. I do appreciate it. This is actually making things a lot easier for me on horseback too, because, well, shall we say on camelback, because the camel is actually, of course, much higher than a horse would be. And with the Manavleon, usually a horse would be completely fine, you know. A Manavleon is going to be very, very easy to hit anyone on horseback. But because the camel is so much higher, or just a smidge higher, you know, a little bit, just, you know, a little bit more, it is much more difficult to hit enemy infantry. And with this weapon, because it does have that little bit more reach, I think it's got like, what, 40 more reach or something like that? Yeah, you can actually deal some pretty decent hits. And I am actually very much appreciative of that, because obviously, as you saw, I was having not a terribly difficult time hitting with the Manavleon, but it was more difficult than a polearm would be if you were on a horse. So this is actually fantastic, and a super, super clear benefit to us being on a camel as well, which is actually wonderful, because I was kind of a bit worried about that when I noticed that the height difference was so drastic. But it seems to actually be working for us quite nicely here. And yeah, apart from that, we're obviously going to be achieving victory by the looks of things. And I'm kind of a bit weirded out that we only lost one. I'm not entirely sure why we're only losing one here, but I guess it's because these guys are indeed... Oh no, wait. No. We are actually fighting quite a few regular units. I was actually thinking that we were fighting a minor faction, which we technically are, but they don't have that many minor faction units. They have quite a few of the others. Anyway, we got 15 renown for that. It doesn't actually tell me the calculation anymore. It used to tell you the calculation for renown and influence and so on and so forth, and it would tell you, you know, X value from perks and so on. But now it only tells you the base value of morale for some reason. I don't know why that is. But it does give you leadership every single time you win a battle. So that's actually quite nice. I like that quite a bit. Anyway, we're also going to be getting some nice charm skill there. So we got another 4 points of charm. And we can also just sort these by tier and get these. There we go, another 46 of those. They're obviously going to sell for a pretty decent amount as it is. And there we have it. Okay, not too bad. We're doing some pretty decent damage to the Northern Empire right now. We're keeping them down a little bit. Obviously, I'm not actually attacking any of the major vassals just yet, but we could potentially do that if we wanted to, I think. I've got some pretty good units right now, and most of them have leveled up, as you can see, into the highest level of Camel Rider. And you can see here that they have 280 in riding, 220 in polearms, and 220 in thrown weapons. So they are pretty fantastic when it comes to, well, mid-range and close-range combat. Not so much from the long range, but as we know, horse archers are not going to be the greatest thing ever anymore. They used to be fantastic. I'd highly recommend, if you want to see some amazing horse archer power, highly recommend checking out the Crusade series. That was so much fun, and it kind of feels to me like we're losing a lot of that. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of the super powerful things, and instead of bringing the weaker factions up to that level, they're kind of bringing back the other ones, the ones that are really strong, and then we're not having as many, you know, fun situations happen, which is really sad, because I feel like, yes, definitely horse archers were super powerful and they definitely needed something done to them, but I think maybe this might be a bit too much. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, I'm going to hope to see if I can find a caravan here, because if I can find a caravan... Wait a minute, am I moving slowly on purpose? I'm herding. Why am I herding? I have too many... I have too many mounts. Yep, I have too many mounts. Alright, so we're just going to go very quickly back to the town, and I'll see what I can do about that.
Having trouble with your horse, Jim?
Can't say I ride too many horses in Philadelphia.
And hilariously enough, we actually just gained 14 skill points in trade. Yeah, from me literally selling those horses and so on and so forth here, which I found very amusing. I don't even know, because I literally have 0 in this, but I gained 14 skill points. I gained 16,000 in profit, which was quite funny. But anyway, we're going to be getting Famous Commander finally, and we'll go for Young and Respectful, because this does give me the extra relation gain with the same gender. Usually you're going to be fighting male lords, so, you know, it kind of makes sense, right? Anyway, otherwise... Ooh, what do we have here? Shield wall formation. We're not really going to be doing a huge amount of that, but I think this is probably going to be good. Standard bearer. That sounds pretty damaging, actually, so I'm quite happy with that. And here's a caravan. Okay, perfect. This is going to be a wonderful situation for us to try this out. So this fellow is owned by Karabos the Appraiser. The caravan is run by him. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack. Oh. Wait a minute. He didn't... Oh, okay, he didn't object or anything like that? Okay, that's kind of weird. I actually thought that he would object or something and say, oh, I'm going to give you money instead, or something like that, but apparently not. Also, what's funny is, did you see that? Did his relation actually go down?
If you please.
As far as I'm aware, his relation didn't even go down. That is kind of weird. Anyway, we're just going to go in for the auto-resolve here. As you can see, we just... absolutely obliterated those fellows, and we are just going to do the standard thing that we tend to do now, which is literally just take the highest tier of prisoner, and I should be able to very quickly... I'm actually wondering where we want to go right now. I could go on to Omor, actually. Or am I going to get murdered? Yes, I might get murdered by these fellows. Yes, that's maybe not the best idea. As you can see, they actually have a pretty significant force. That's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Anyway, we did have quite a few people that were injured, but now they are not so injured. So I probably could have taken them now, but not so much back then. Anyway, look at that, 4,700 from that, and we also have a significant amount of loot as well. This is obviously when you get... This is when you get rolling, right? This is when you get rolling. This is obviously way beyond, you know, the initial starting point of the game. So it's going to be a point where you're not really going to be doing tournaments any further. It's going to be a case of, yeah, okay, I'm just going to attack these minor faction fellows. And yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, they are just going to get murdered in any number of ways. And it's pretty simple. However, obviously, early on... I don't know, maybe you can make it work. Maybe you can make it work. I know that some people have said in the past that the best way of getting renown and so on and so forth early on in the game is to literally attack minor factions. And yeah, sure, you could do that, but not sure how... I don't know. I'm not sure how safe that is to actually do without, you know... I don't know, fighting them for a significant amount of time in comparison to going into a tournament where there's a horse available and you can get that horse and then you can sell it for 15,000 or so. You know, that's maybe something that I'd prefer in those cases. But there you go. We're actually gaining some good roguery skill from doing this as well. Unfortunately, I don't have... Oh, no, wait. We can actually do some pretty cool things here. Okay, there we go. Oh, these caravan guards right here. I'm swearing by these right now. I am swearing by these. They give you so much cash. Trust me, they give you so much cash. It is really quite astounding how much they actually can provide from a ransom broker. It is really amazing. Anyway, we're going to go on over to Omor here and look at the money we've got right now. I'm actually feeling like I want to get another workshop, because here's the thing. Look at the workshop that we have right now. It's giving me around 100 every single day. And you can see in comparison, the caravan income is 544. So obviously that's 5 times the amount. But how many caravans do I actually have running right now? As far as I'm aware, I have 1, I think. Wait a minute, can I actually tell? Parties, yes. There you go. So I only have 1 caravan running, and that gave me 500 last time he went to a particular place. And as you can see, these two were both, as you might expect, they were both defeated, as well as Zemina, of course, you saw that. And yeah, that's very sad. But anyway, as you can see, look at this, 8,600. That's going to get me 1 point. Yes, 1 point in roguery skill. I'm still very dissatisfied with the amount of roguery skill that we gain, especially considering I literally have 5 points in it. Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. But yeah, we should probably be doing a little bit of alleyway stuff, shouldn't we? So I'm actually going to try that out. Let me very quickly go into the marketplace here. I'm going to try and see whether I can get some throwing daggers. I don't have a significant amount of throwing weapon skill at all, but I should be able to pick up some throwing daggers, maybe? Yep, there we go, there we go. We got some throwing daggers. Are there any better ones? I'm not seeing any right now. No, it doesn't seem like it. All right, well, that's absolutely fine. Don't have a problem with that. We're just going to take 3 lots of them, and there we have it. Each stack has 3, so we're going to have 9, which is all right. You know, I don't think that's too bad. And this fellow owns nothing. This... Wait a minute. Are you... Wait a minute. Okay, they don't own anything? They own none of the... Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. They don't own any of the back streets or the docks or anything like that. It doesn't seem like they own any of those. So does that mean that I can just go straight on in here and just have an absolutely easy time of things? Or does that mean that they don't even have any back streets? Because as you can see, there are no red areas that I can capture. What? This is literally one of the first times that I have ever seen this. I'm actually unsure how that is even a thing, but as you can see, there isn't. I'm going over every single icon, and there are no back streets or any thugs in the area whatsoever, because the bandits and looters and so on that inhabit this particular town, apparently, they don't care about that, which is very strange. Okay, that's unheard of for me. That is absolutely unheard of. I've never seen that before. Okay, that's very interesting. All right, well, let's make our way on over to Balgard then instead. And maybe there's going to be something here. Yeah, okay, so she's the owner of the clearing, owner of the waterfront. Okay, yeah. So we're going to do something with this. So hopefully we can actually have something happen here. Obviously, if I want to, what I can do is I can hopefully install a companion in the alleyway. Obviously, this is, you know, we're not actually, you know, playing with Forbury installed right now. But, you know, I'm hoping, no, that's not actually a thing. But I'm hoping that maybe the base game actually has something that we can take advantage of here. Because as far as I'm aware, you can do something with that. And you can install some people, and those people will then have the ability to give you a percentage of the prosperity of the town, and so on. Anyway, yeah, so expert thug, I'm just having a look. I don't take the orders from the likes of you. Let's kill him. There we go, he's dead. And then we can hopefully eliminate these guys as well. Shouldn't have too many issues if my companion can actually do something. Okay, there we go. Nice. There we go. That's what we wanted. That is what we wanted. Come on now. Yes, perfect. Oh, my companion's actually doing something. Can you believe it? Amnon, you are a beast, sir. You only have 50. All right, so yeah, we can take over the alley. So basically, yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. You don't have any suitable clan members to assign this alley. We need roguery skill 30 or higher and mercy trait 0 or lower. Okay, so basically, so you need roguery skill every single time. Okay, that's actually really good to know. And as you can see, we actually increase our relation with everyone in the town. Well, every notable in the town, not the other people, of course. They're not going to be too pleased with what we've done here. But that just goes to show that it may, in fact, be doable. Obviously, I don't have any companions with me right now that have 30 roguery. I don't actually think any of them have 30 roguery. Let me actually have a look. No, Zemina does. Zemina has 80, so she's perfect for this. Oh, and look at that, this guy. This guy has 100 in roguery too. I had no idea. All right, yeah, that's what we're going to do then in the next episode. We're going to install someone in Balgard itself, And we're going to see. We're going to see just how much money we can actually make from installing a roguery companion in this town. I think that's going to be pretty fun. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.